Tunisia is a country in North Africa, just across the sea from Italy. Almost 2000 years ago, the Romans built a new city here. They placed it on an important road between the coast and the desert. From this city, they could control trade and local tribes. It became a center of power in the region. This is Sufetula, the unknown city Rome built to hold North Africa. This is the Forum of Sufetula. We are entering through the Severan Arch, built in the early 3rd century AD. This was the main gateway into the sacred and political center of the city. We've stepped into the Forum Square. The paving stones under our feet are the same limestone the Romans laid almost 1,800 years ago. Shops and meeting rooms stood along the porticos on both sides. This was where daily city life happened. Trade, legal hearings and public announcements. We're now standing in the middle of the Forum courtyard. On both sides there are long rows of stone columns. They once held up covered walkways where people could walk in the shade. Behind the columns were small rooms used as shops and offices. On market days this area was full of people. In front of us is the Capitolium, the most sacred place in the city. This is the Capitolium, built in the 2nd century AD by the city's leaders and rich citizens. It has 3 temples on one high platform. The center temple is for Jupiter, king of the gods, who ruled the sky and protected the Roman state. On one side is the temple of Juno, queen of the gods, who protected women, marriage and the community. On the other side is the temple of Minerva, goddess of wisdom, war strategy and crafts. These 3 gods were the most important in Roman religion. Building this temple showed the city's loyalty to Rome. We are standing on top of the temple platform. From here, we can look out over the Forum and see the big stone arch at the other end. In Roman times, priests stood here during festivals. They spoke to the people in the square and made offerings to the gods. The high platform showed the power of the gods. This is the right side temple. It was built for the goddess Juno, the queen of the gods. The tall columns have carved leaves at the top. This fancy style was used for very important buildings in the Roman Empire. The stones were cut from local quarries and placed by hand. A small stone bridge connects this temple to the center temple of Jupiter. People climbed the stairs to bring offerings and pray. The tall columns and high platform made the temple look strong and holy. We are now behind the temple complex, in the area where other buildings and streets once stood. In front of us are the arched passages built under the platform, and on top of them are the stone bridges that once connected the 3 temples. These bridges let priests and workers move between the temples without walking down to the ground, while the public used the front stairs facing the Forum. The walls around us are made from large blocks of limestone that came from quarries close to the city. The stone was soft enough to shape with Roman tools, but strong enough to last through time. Its pale color made the building shine in the North African sun. And because the stone came from nearby, it was easy to transport and build with. The curved arch above us is built from wedge-shaped stones pressed tightly together, forming a strong and lasting vault. On top of it stands a stone bridge that connects the side temple with the central temple. This clever design allowed movement between the buildings on the upper level, while keeping the passage below open. The bridge is still here today, and it can still be walked across, just like it was when the temple complex was built. We start our walk inside the Roman theatre. From this angle, we can see both the stone stage and the curved rows of seats at the same time. This is where everything happened. Plays, music, speeches, and festivals that brought the whole town together. Tall stone columns still stand here. They once framed the stage and gave the front of the theater a grand look. Behind them were walls and doorways that created the backdrop for the performances. The wide open floor in front of us was the main stage area. It's built from the same local limestone as the rest of the city. The Romans built it to last, and after nearly 2,000 years, it still stands strong. We're now standing higher up in the theater, where most of the crowd sat. These curved stone rows were built to hold around 3,500 people. Everyone could see the stage clearly, even from the top. The Romans planned the shape carefully. The round design and rising rows made sound travel through the air so the whole crowd could hear without speakers or machines. Behind the last row is a wide stone walkway. It was used to move people in and out fast during big events. The walls are made from strong limestone blocks with a rubble core inside, making the structure lighter but strong. From up here, you can see how the theater fits perfectly into the landscape. Roman builders used the natural slope of the ground to support the seats and improve the sound. We're standing at the ruins of the Basilica of the priest Vitalis. This was a Christian church built in the 5th century AD, during the later years of Roman control in North Africa. The wide space, once covered by a roof, was used for prayers, gatherings, and Christian ceremonies. You can still see the shape of the church. Pillars lined both sides, and the entrance was at the far end. This basilica was named after a local Christian priest, Vitalis, whose name survives in stone. From the start, this was built as a place for Christian worship. As we walk deeper into the basilica, we see broken columns and carved capitals scattered across the floor. These once held up tall arches that supported the roof. The floor still has many of its original stone tiles, worn but still holding their shape after more than 1,500 years. The stone used here is local limestone, the same kind used across the city. It's easy to carve but strong. The layout follows a typical church plan: a long central hall, side aisles, and a curved end called an apse. Christian services were held here for the growing community in late Roman North Africa. These images show the eastern end of the basilica. This is where the altar stood. Behind it, in the curved apse, would have been a mosaic or painted image of Christ. Today, we only see the rough stone outlines, but back then this space was full of color and movement. Christian symbols once covered the walls. This church was a center of local faith during the final years of Roman influence, just before Arab forces arrived in the 7th century. This place has so much more to uncover and explore, but that is for another episode. If you like my work and felt I didn't waste your time, please like, comment and subscribe.